Today I would like to talk to you about strings in C. So what is a string? It is nothing but an array of characters which is ending with a null character. So the last character of any string will be a null, which is equal to a \0, which is represented within single quotes. Or you can say it is nothing but a sequence of characters which is treated as a single data item. For example, well done is a string. So here you can see that the string well done is written within double quotes. So always, whichever string you are writing, it should be written within double quotes. So let's see how we can declare a string. So I told you a string is nothing but an array of characters. So whenever you declare a string, it should be declared as an array. So here you can see it is a character data type, and then you have to write the string name. What is the name you want to give? And along with that, you should give the size of the array. How many characters will be there in that particular array? So that size should be given within square brackets. So as an example, I have given it as char city. See here it is given as capital C, but normally it is small c. Char, and the name of the string is city, and the size of that array will be 10. So maximum of 10 characters can be stored in this particular array, and also the last character should be a null character, since you are going to declare a string array. Fine. Okay, now one more thing you should keep in your mind is always the size of the array should be equal to number of characters plus 1. Why that plus 1? That is for that null character. Okay. Now another example. So how can you initialize a string? Okay, so for example, I have given there, it is given as character data type, char, city is the name of the array, and the size of the array is 9, which is equal to New York. Here the string New York is given in double quotes. You can see these two are two separate words which is separated by a blank space. Okay, so when you count the number of characters here, you can see that there are how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So 8 characters are there in the string. Along with that 8 character, you have to store one null. So total will be 9. So that is the 9 size of the array which we have given in here. Now another way of representing the same initialization is like this: char city 9, which is equal to, so instead of giving the string entire string in double quotes, you can give it like this too, that is within braces. After the opening brace, you have to write each character by character in single quotes, and it will be separated by a comma. So new, you can see here single quotes, then if there is a comma, again next character is started with a single quote and ended with another one. Similarly like this till here, and here you can see a blank space which is also given in single quotes. That blank space is for this space that is separating New York. Okay, and all the rest of the characters, and finally you have the null character which is a \0, which is in single quotes. Okay. So one more way is there. Without giving the size of the array also, you can initialize your string. That is, you can just look here. Here, instead of giving the size, simply you have given square brackets. So that shows that the size of the array can be any number. So you can store any number of characters in this particular array. But you have stored how many characters here? Just like in the previous case, we have stored 9 characters. Okay. So even if you are storing more longer string also, it will store that. there won't be any problem since we haven't specified any particular size for this array. So why do we have a null character? As we have seen here, in this particular array, you can store 9 or 10 or 15 or 20 characters. Then how will we know where is the end of the string? So this end of the string is always represented by the null character. For example, if the size is given as 15 here in this case, you can take this case. If I have given the size as 15 and I am storing just New York, okay, after New York is just 8 characters, and then the other spaces which we have already given, that is 15 spaces we have allotted for this particular array, but the rest of the remaining 6 locations are free. We don't have anything. So how will we know where this particular string ends? So in order to show that this is soon after k, this string is ending, you have to give this null character soon after the last character. Fine. So null character is used to represent the end of the string. And one more thing you should keep in your mind is, if the size of the array which you are giving here is less than the number of characters you have already stored, that is illegal. You are not supposed to give a size lesser than the number of characters which you are going to store in that particular array. Now, let's see how we can read strings. So, first of all, in order to read string, we have to declare a character array. So, I have declared a character array, char data type, then the name of the array here is address, and the size of array is given as 10. Fine. Then I am using the same scanf which you are quite familiar with, scanf, in order to scan data from the user. Okay, so scanf %s. %s is the specifier for string data type. Okay, so string is nothing but a group of character, or here you are representing the character array. Okay, so %s comma the name of the array, that is address. So here you can note that we are not using the ampersand sign as in the case of our integer or our float or our character data type. Since this is an array, we just need to give the name of the array. We need not have to give the ampersand sign here. So here we are ending the scanf by the semicolon, as we have learned already. So there is one problem with the scanf. The problem is scanf always terminates at first white space character. Means, so there are number of white space characters. For example, blank space is a white space character, tabs are white space, the new line, carriage, return, and form field, all these are white space character. If these characters come in between the string, what happens is the scanf will read only till that first white space character. Even if there are other characters after the white space character, it will just ignore those characters. It will not consider those characters. So that is the problem with scanf. So in order to read in the word New York, since New York has got 2 separate words, you will have to assign, or you will have to declare 2 character arrays as I have given here. You can see here character, first array name is ADR1, the size is 5, second array is ADR2, size 5. So I have declared 2 character arrays in order to store both the strings New and York in both the in separate arrays. Okay, so scanf within brackets, you can see here %s, which is the first specifier for the first word, that is new, and then you can see a blank space over here. After that, you can see another one %s for the second word, that is York, and then you are closing the double quotes, and then you are mentioning the names of the arrays ADR1 and ADR2. So if you scan like this, you will be able to scan New York. Otherwise, what will happen if I don't have this particular %s and I am simply giving just one %s comma ADR1? What happens is it will read only new. It will not read. Whenever it comes across this particular white space, it will just ignore the characters following that white space. So that is the problem. If in case your string has got any white space character, in that case you will have to declare two arrays or number of arrays based on how many white spaces are coming in your string. Okay, another important point which you need to keep in your mind while scanning is field width. If you want to limit the number of characters you want to read from the user, you can give it like this, %ws instead of %s. So this W represents the width of the string. Okay, so if I write scanf %ws comma name, in that case what happens is, even if the size of name array is 10 also, and if I mention %5s, it will only read in 5 characters. Okay, may I repeat that? If my character array name has a size of 10, okay, but I am giving here %5s, in that case it will read only 5 characters, though the size of the array is 10. So you can limit the number of characters you are reading in from the user. So two things you have to keep in mind is, if the width, if the field width is greater than or equal to n. What is n? N is the number of characters. Okay, if the width is greater than or equal to n, then the entire string will be stored in the array. But if the width is less than n, then excess characters are unread or it will be ignored. So always it is better to keep the width greater than or equal to the size of the array. Fine. So char name 10 scanf, you can see here %5 is name, it will read only 5 characters. Thank you all.